Welcome back. And with us in the studio, we have Lanice McGee, who is our next speaker. So I'll briefly introduce McGee and we'll bring her onto the stage. Lanice McGee is a servant, and a leader. That's how she describes herself. She understands that growth comes in every season of your journey. She graduated from Fisk University with a Bachelor of Arts degree in sociology and also has a master's degree in human services from Springfield College. Lanice is the co-founder of Big, Beautiful, and Blessed, an organization that looks to promote positive self-image in young women through modeling. Lanice is proud of the accomplishments of her life and would not change any of the issues and lessons that she has learned, and these have guided her on her path today. Lanice is grateful for the mentors and advisors that have poured into her life, and she reciprocates this with others, and that's why she's here today. So please let's welcome Lanice McGee.
Woo! Hey, how are you? Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here and excited to be able to share.
Welcome, Lanice. It's so good to have you here. You're looking beautiful.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much.
So, without further ado, I'd like to ask you, what has been your life journey?
Well, yes, we have all had a journey, right? And so, to kind of sum it up, because I know we are talking to women that have been through ups and downs, maybe if they've been through a breakup or a divorce, just because I want to get straight to the point and say, I have been there. Yes, I have. I've been married. Yes, I was married, and I have been through a divorce, and I've been in relationships where I've been broken up as well. But so I can understand in that vein, but guess what? I have also overcome. I am a graduate from an HBCU. I don't allow anything that I've been through to be my final destination. I really believe no matter how high I've come, that is not my pinnacle, right? Even every accomplishment that I made that I can list off. Yes, I have graduated. Yes, I'm a district director. Yes, I'm an author. Yes, I'm a business owner. All of that, all of those great accomplishments that I'm very proud of, all of those things are not my pinnacle. Just like the things that I've been through, like a divorce, like a breakup, like losing things, those are not the definition of me either. So those are some things that I have been through that have shaped me and make me, and those are part of my journey, part of my making. And that's what we're here to talk about today, our making, our journey. So that's just a little bit about Lanice McGee.
Thank you, Lanice. It's all about the journey and
Yes.
the purpose for the journey. So, can you speak to the issue of purpose a little bit?
Yes, and thank you. I really believe that we all have a purpose and we all have a calling on us. If you are still here today, you are still breathing. If you are watching this, whether you're watching it live or whether you're going to be watching it on the replay, I just want to remind you that you have a purpose and a reason for being here. And sometimes when we are in a space in our journey, when we're going through, sometimes we forget that we have a purpose. Sometimes we question what our purpose can be when we're feeling sad and when we're feeling like, why me? Why am I going through this? And so I am a woman of faith, and I believe that, and I know that our God has designed us with the purpose. And so it's discovering and rediscovering what that purpose is. And I believe that every season in our life prepares us for the next season of our life. And so it's really discovering what that is. And so I want to encourage us all to kind of remember that, you know what? I have a purpose. And if you don't know what that is, I'm going to share with you guys some tips and things on how can I rediscover what that is? How can I find out what that is? And if you know what that is, I want to reunite and ignite what that purpose is so that we can all be on that path and that journey of just getting. And you know what breakups do and what divorce do? They disrupt our normal routine. And so when we're disrupt, we're just like, oh, what do I do? But finding our purpose and knowing our purpose, that helps us get back on our routine and help us keep going and moving forward. So that's why purpose is so important, because it keeps us moving forward. Purpose helps us move forward.
Thank you so much, Lani. So let me go straight and ask you, how do you discover your purpose if you don't know it? You know, people in the situation where they've lost a vision of their purpose because of the challenges, and some have never ever discovered their purpose, and sometimes the pain will bring them to their purpose. So how do you discover your purpose?
Yes. So first of all, what is discovering? Discovering is what? Finding out what something is. So first we have to find out what something is, and what is that something? What am I? Who am I? So discovering your purpose is discovering yourself. So to discover your purpose, you must first be willing to investigate, who are you? Why are you here? What do you like to do? What do you enjoy in life? And so that means you have to be willing to discover and sit down with yourself. Sometimes we're so busy doing and being that we are not willing to do and be with ourselves. So in order to discover your purpose, you have to be willing to discover yourself. We get busy with things that are important. We get busy with our children. We get busy with our family and our loved ones. But we have to get busy with the doing of ourselves and knowing who we are. Questioning some things. What's important to me? What do I value? What's my why? What makes me excited? What do I find purpose in? So those are some very basic things. They seem basic, but you'll be surprised how many people have not taken the time. I'll ask somebody, well, what do you love to do? What would you do if no one paid you to do it? When's the last time you really did something and you really found joy and you could sit? What could you talk about for 30 minutes without any practice and just get joy about? Somebody could not tell you because they haven't sit and thought about it. So those are some things you could do and sit and think about to start to discover your purpose, to start to discover your path. Sometimes it's about sitting under wise counsel, finding somebody else who has discovered their purpose, their path, educating yourself, taking a course. There's so many things that we can do. And of course, I'm going to suggest that you go to your maker, whether you pray, whatever you decide to do, your spiritual guidance. Of course, that's what I do. And ask, what do you want me to do? What were my hands created to do? And look for those guidance. But it takes action. We can't just think that it's just going to fall in our laps. It's going to take action and intentionality on your part.
Thank you very much. Action and intentionality. So that's what it takes to discover your purpose.
Right.
If everyone has greatness inside of them, and they want to discover and activate it, what practical steps would you give them?
Okay. So I believe that everybody does, again, have purpose. Even if you feel like I have no talent, I can't do anything. Yes, you can. So the first thing I would tell you to do is, again, what do you truly find value in? What is important to you? And this is especially for people, again, who may be going through a separation, going through a divorce. A lot of times when you are in a couple, you know what you guys like to do together, right? This is what we always did. This is what we do. Well, what do you do? Okay, and this is for anybody. What do you do? What do you find value in? What do you enjoy to do? Literally write them down. Make a list. What is important to you? Okay, and so how can you start getting involved in those things? How are you already involved in those things? Is it involved in your life through your work? Is it involved in your life through volunteerism? Is it involved in your life through serving? If it's not involved in your life at all, how is it involved in your life through business? How in the world can you start implementing that in your life? What you value and what's important to you should be a part of your life because it is what you're supposed to be doing. You have to make room for what's important to you because what's important to you will eventually become something that you can definitely grow in. And some people feel like, well, what I really love to do, I don't see how I can make money in it. I'm going to tell you this. Once you start doing what you're really supposed to do and what you love doing, the money will come. And all of a sudden, things will start coming to you and you'll be like, I never knew I could do this and make money. But if you don't spend any time and energy in it, you won't see it. The value won't come there. So start doing that. Next, how can you align those things? And how are you willing to address the next thing to do? How are you willing to address any fears that you have? A lot of times we have some fears and limiting beliefs, okay, when it comes to lining up to our purpose and lining up to what we believe. We will see other people doing what we believe we're supposed to do, and we will have this envious feeling in our heart, or we'll whatever, because in our heart we really want to do it. And then what we have to do is address, why do we feel that we are not enough? What fears and limited beliefs do we have? And we need to start addressing those things head on and then deal with that so that we can start living in our truth. And so those are some things that I would suggest so that we can live the life that we were designed to live. So we can live the life that when we were created for, like this is what you were created to do. We can start living that life.
Thank you so much for the aspect of creation. Because when you say that what your purpose is tied to what you like doing.
Yeah.
Is everything we like doing, is it everything that we like doing that is what God wants us to do?
Yes.
How do you align your purpose with what God wants you to do?
So, and I think you really tied that in good. I believe that he gives us the desires of our heart, and I believe that he put the desires in our heart. And so, if the desire is in your heart and it hasn't gone away, I believe that we are meant to do that. And so, if God put the desire in our heart, I believe that it's meant for us to pursue that. But a lot of times we will pursue that which we feel that we are capable of. And so that goes to limit our faith. Where is your faith at? And sometimes our faith is in our ability of what we feel we can do. But I know that we serve a God that is almighty. And so sometimes I look at the resources, right? Well, I don't have the resources for this. But if I move forward, he will connect me to the resources. For instance, I'll use something like this platform here. Maybe I always wanted to be a host, right? But I'm not technically, good, right? But so I don't move forward because I don't know anything about technology or whatever. But man, I just want to be a host, and I see you doing this, and I'm like, oh, she's so wonderful. She's this, and that. But I never moved forward. But had I just moved forward, maybe had I just put it out there, put it out like I desire to be a host, and I start maybe somebody would have connected to me and say, you know what? I know a little bit about technology. I could help you. But if I never even verbalize, because I'm so fearful, because I'm limited in one area. But there are resources that can connect to me, that can help me move forward. We need each other, right? We really do. And so, but I have limits. See, this is why it all ties together. My limited beliefs stop me from moving forward because my faith says I only can do this, forgetting that everything that I need is already out there. But I have to move forward. I have to believe that, this desire will not go away. And so, because this desire is there, I'm going to do what I can. I'm going to do everything in my own power, whether that's study, whether that's just research, whether that's ask, whatever I have to do, I'm going to do that and believe that what I need in that next season in that next room is going to be there when I arrive so that I can move forward. And that's really what we have to do. We have to move forward. We have to move forward because otherwise we're always going to be in that same room, always wondering about with it. What if? I'd rather live with the oh my, I learned than live with the I wonder if. I wonder if. And that's what I want to live with everybody. Don't live with the I wonder if. Live with the oh wow, I learned. Oh wow, this was this. Or oh wow, I got this out of that, because no matter what, we always learn, we always get something. And even sometimes and this is just from personal experience, I have desired things and then I move forward. And then when I get there, it's even better than what I experienced. It's even better with what I expected. And so I encourage people as they are moving forward in their purpose, as they're moving forward in their desires, know that even if it's not what you expected, it can be even better. You never lose, you only learn. You only learn. And if we have that mindset, that's how we move forward. That's how we gain.
Thank you so much. So if I have to summarize, I think I hear an echo. Nina? Yes, move forward. You can never lose, you can only learn. And also, you've told us that being in the way God would lead us. He's given us the desire. Once you start moving, He will lead you. I think that's the summary of what I got from that. And I'm sure the audience is thrilled to know how to find your purpose and align it with the will of God. So why is it important to know why? How does knowing why help one's transformation?
Wow, that is so beautiful because when you know your why, you're not easily moved. When I know why I'm doing what I'm doing, I'm not easily shifted. So when I am tied into why I'm doing what I'm doing, I won't easily you can't easily shift me. I'm doing this because I have decided that this is what I'm going to do. And when I decide what I'm going to do, not only am I transformed, but those around me will be transformed. And when I'm transformed, everything I touched is transformed. And when I move, everything I move can be moved. But when you don't understand your why, when the wind moves, you move whichever way the wind moves. When you don't understand your why, then you will not understand what you're doing. You don't understand your what. And then anytime somebody says, well, don't do it this way, you'll say, okay. And then you will not understand your purpose. You will not understand your purpose. You will not understand your reason. When you understand your why, when things don't work out, you will still move forward regardless. You don't lose your way, even when it's dark. When I understand my why, my heart is transformed, even in the tears. So it's so important to understand why you're doing what you're doing, because guess what? It's not always sunny. But guess what? I understand the sun will still come up. So it's so important to understand why you're doing what you're doing so that you are on solid ground. Your foundation is solid. Then you're solid.
Thank you so much. So, in a summary, if I were to say this in a nutshell, your why is your compass.
Yes.
It's like your compass. That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
So, does one's purpose include others? And how do you know who your purpose includes?
Yes. That's really good. I think so. And I think it kind of goes back to what I was saying before. I think your purpose includes others, but it doesn't need to be validated by others. So you could be doing something that is like an isolated type of position or isolated type of job, but other people are influenced by it. So like the example I used before, you might be doing something in IT. Other people are influenced by that because somebody else needs what you're doing. No matter what you're doing, God is going to use your gift to bless somebody else. But your gift doesn't need to be validated by somebody else. It only needs to be validated by your why, understanding that you know you're supposed to be doing it, and understanding that God has given you the compass, like you said, to do it. But I do believe that no matter what, we are connected to each other. And you know, the Bible says it's not good for man to be alone. And I believe that's more than just man and wife. I think that we are created for each other. We are created for community, you know? And so I do believe that no matter what we're created to do, we are created for community. We are created to help and embrace each other in our gifts.
Thank you so much. So, this has come up before when I was asking questions to some of the other speakers. Many times when we go through pain, sometimes the purpose is to equip us to help others. Can you
Mm-hmm.
speak to that? Is there
Yeah.
truth?
Yeah, I think so. I think that pain can lead to purpose, you know, and sometimes we don't. Who wants to experience pain? Nobody wants to experience pain, right? But if we can find the purpose within the pain, we can then find fulfillment within it. You know, when we understand that everything that we go through is not exactly just for us. So when I can find out, okay, I went through this, but how did I grow through this? And that's the most important thing. When we find out how we grew through this, and then when it's the proper time, we can share that so that when someone else is going through that, they don't feel alone. Because a lot of times when we go through things, we can't feel alone. And when no one is transparent about what they're going through, that's when people feel alone and isolated. And that's why I say we need each other. That's why our purpose is never just for ourselves. When you go through something, if you're willing to share that and willing to be open about it, no one ever has to be alone. Whatever you went through, somebody has been through a similar situation. And if we were willing just to be open enough and say, look, I've been through a bankruptcy. Look, I've been through a divorce. Look, I've lost a child. Look, I've lost a house. Look, I've had a business partner stab their back on me. Look, I've had a sibling do me wrong. Look, but sometimes people aren't willing to share that. But how did you not just share it, but how did you get through it? How did you get through that pain? How did you lift your head up? How did you move forward? How did you forgive? How did you forgive yourself? You know, and those are the type of things of how we together can move forward, you know. And so I think that yes, our pain, once we learn how to manage and deal with our pain, it is so much beauty when we're willing to share it with other people.
Thank you so much. Um, there's someone who's asking, why do bad marriages happen to good people? Is
Oh,
there,
wow.
is there a common thread?
Yes. So we could say, why do bad anything happen to good people, period, right? And so I don't think there's a answer to why does bad thing happen to good people, because bad things happen to everybody. Unfortunately, no one is exempt from something negative happening to them. But the good thing is we all have a choice in how we carry our cross, right? How do we choose to carry that cross when something negative happens to us? How will we choose to respond? We all have a choice in that. So, when something happens to us, when we do experience a bad marriage, right? I can speak from my own experience when I went through a marriage, and I was sharing with someone actually. There's always the person who initiated, and there's always the person who retaliated, right? So I may not have been the initiator, but did I retaliate? I had a choice. Even if I wasn't the initiator, how did I choose to retaliate? And so, unfortunately, we all have to look at ourselves in the end, even if I didn't deserve to be treated and talked to a certain kind of way. Why? Why did it happen? And if we spend too much time in the why did it happen, we won't have enough time to spend in how am I going to move forward. And so, all the only encouragement I can really provide is how will you move forward? Don't spend too much time in why is this person treating me this way? I don't deserve this. Because it may be very much true. A lot of people do not deserve the treatment that they get. You know, you even think about children that get mistreated. Why do they get that way? They don't deserve that. How do you move forward and get on with your life, or what do you choose to do? So that's the advice I would give. Choose to move forward, choose to live life, choose to forgive. If that's the space you're in right now, if you're not in that space, choose to let go until you're ready to forgive.
Thank you very much.
Mm-hmm.
So, how can you speak to the subject of your life journey so far, if
Mm-hmm.
going to your best travels in the future? For somebody who is hurting and in pain now,
Yeah.
how do you understand that the journey so far is leading them to their best destination?
Okay, I'm gonna just be really honest. It depends on the space you're in. Because if you are hurting right now, I want you to understand that it's okay to mourn. Sometimes people don't take the time to mourn. And I really want to say this. You should mourn what you lost, because you need to honor the relationship that you had. Because if you don't honor what you had, how are you going to embrace what you're going to? I think that's important. And I'm talking from my own experience. When you marry someone, or when you're in a committed relationship for a certain amount of time, you chose to trust that person. You chose to embrace them in your life. You chose to say, you know what, I'm going to compromise things for this relationship. We're going to make choices together. And when you guys both decide that that's no longer going to happen, guess what? It's unlike to a death. I'm just being honest. It's unlike to a death. So guess what? I need time to mourn that. I need time to grieve that. But then there comes a time where after that period, I have to no longer, I have to release. So it's important that we talk that through. So it's okay. Yes. Let me honor the relationship that I have, that I no longer will have it in that space anymore. Let me be okay. Talk it out. Do not stay in this dark space and cloud. Make sure that you're talking it out with people who love you, who care about you, and who are okay with you. You know what? Cry. Let it out. Speak it out. Now let me help you. What do you need to do? Because you have to move on. You have to move forward. And that's what I really want to encourage people. You know what? Honor that relationship that you had. You invested in that. Anything that you invest in that you lose, you're no longer, have that investment in, it's okay to mourn what you have lost.
Thank you very much. So, the process of recovery includes mourning your loss. Thank you very
Yeah.
much for that insight. There are some people who are asking, how do you move on if you still love the person who hurt you, who abandoned you, who cheated on you? You still love them. How do you move on?
This is funny to me, in a sense of, why do you have to not love them anymore? And this is and let me be very clear in this. Not in love with them. You can always have a certain amount of love for them. Okay? And so you have to learn how to separate the kind of love that you have for them, and then it gets to a space. And so that's why you have to get to a space where maybe you need counseling. Maybe you need to start doing things that you enjoy. There is a process, but you never feel like you cannot love that person anymore. I don't feel like you have to. It's like either I love you or I don't anymore. I'm just not of that belief. I don't believe that. And that's my personal belief. I believe that I can always have a certain type of love for you. If I said I do to a person, or if I was in a committed relationship with you and I spent my life with you, even if you hurt me, even if you did something that whatever, now all of a sudden I can't never love you anymore. I have to hate you. I have to put you in this pile. I don't know. You may never be able to be in this. We have to be wise with our decisions, right? But it doesn't mean that I now have to hate you because that's what society says. No. I mean, I've seen specials where people have forgiven people that have done like tremendous things to them. That doesn't mean that they are friends or whatever, but they have forgiven them. You know what I mean? You can forgive a person and you can say, I have love for them. I don't wish them any harm. Do I want to be with them? No, I don't. But you don't have to hate them. You don't have to despise them. But how do you move forward? You have to speak about it. You have to talk about it. And if you still have a certain amount of love for them, you have to keep speaking about that. You may have to get counseling and things of that nature, especially if it's unhealthy and you don't need to be back in that relationship. You do need to get some kind of counseling so you don't find yourself back in an unhealthy situation where you could be harmed. But you can be in a situation where you will say, you know what, I will always honor what we had. And that's okay to honor what you had and not ever be back with that person ever again.
Thank you so much. And what would your advice be to women who have been divorced or they've left a relationship, there are children involved? What practical advice would you give them to make sure that the children don't get damaged by the divorce?
Most important thing, keep your mouth closed around the kids when it's talking about the other spouse as much as possible. When it comes to negativity, I'm gonna tell you this: the children see. I mean, they see, they hear, they were there. You know what I mean? And so they're gonna have their own thoughts and opinions about the situation anyway. And so, although it may be very difficult and it's hard, never talk negative about the other spouse. Just try as hard as you can not to talk negative. That's the best advice I can give. And because guess what? They are hurting and they don't want to feel like they have to choose. And they're going through their own emotions with the whole situation as well. They might be feeling abandoned. They might feel like, well, are they going to divorce me? You don't understand really what they're even going through. And it may be years before they even really speak their truth about the situation. And I'm talking from my own experience as well. So please, just as much as you can, and maybe even have them go through some counseling through the experience and be as open and honest as about the situation, far as me and daddy are getting we're separating or we're getting a divorce, but it doesn't mean we don't love you. Talk honestly about your love for them, but don't talk negative about each other. And so just try as much as you can, unless the courts and stuff have to get involved, but when it comes to talking negative about each other, just try not to do that. That's the best. That's the only part that breaks my heart more than anything else, because the children really, really, really suffer, and they have a hard time too. But at the same time, I hate to see people stay together for the children, because you shouldn't suffer either because that's a horrible situation to stay in for the children, because they're suffering if you're in a bad situation. You know what I mean? So it's going to work out. And don't feel like, oh, it's not. It'll work out. It'll be hard, but have healthy conversations. And this is going to teach your children, if you do it in a healthy way, that you can have healthy conversations. And even when something is difficult and hard, that they can do it and they will make it, and you're strong as well.
Thank you so much. And now I'd like you to tell us a little bit about the free gift you have for the audience.
Wonderful. Yes, so I have a free download for you guys. If you click on the link, it's a 7-day journal. Yeah, a 7-day journal for you to discover your purpose. And you guys definitely can get that. And everybody that clicks on it and downloads, I'm going to enter all your name to actually even get a free book. And so I'm going to enter everybody's name that downloads the free journal. And I'll pull one of the names to get a book as well. And I'll email the winner of the book. And you'll just have to send me your address so I can mail you out the book as well. But everybody will get that journal so you can kind of journal down and get some good writing going for you. So I'm excited. I know you guys will love the journal as well. And I thank you again for having me on. Thank you for the discussion. I hope this was good for you guys. I love it, and I know that sometimes this stuff it can be difficult, but I just want to encourage you all that you will make it through, even though sometimes it feels like you won't. Our feelings are not loyal, but our decisions. Make a decision that you will and know that you will.
Thank you so much, Lanice. Our decision, decide that you will and you will. Thank you so much, Lanice. We are so honored to have you, and we hope you will accept our invitation when we call on you again.
Yes.
Thank you. That was an awesome experience talking to Lanice, focusing on purpose and decisions and how to find your purpose, even if you're going through stuff you don't like. Understanding that the stuff you go through can be the beginning of a journey to find that thing that God made you for. We are not here for ourselves. We're here because of other people. Community is key. Those were some of the points that I got from what Lani said, and she has an awesome gift for it for all of us. She says she has a 7-day journal that will help you find purpose in your life. And everybody who clicks on the link and drops their name to get the free journal has automatically entered into a draw. When she makes that draw, somebody's going to get a physical copy of one of her books. Isn't that great? So thank you so much, Lanice.